Well, good afternoon. It's Gregory Mascaro of Mascaro Financial Media. Today is Saturday, April 22nd, 2017. It's just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, about 10 to 1. A lot going on in the past week. I have always talked about what you could really accomplish with investing, or what they want to say with trading activity, what they call active versus passive. There's a big difference in what I say is active management versus what is passive management. Passive management of your investments and your portfolio is basically taking the money that you have saved and giving it off to a mutual fund or an exchange traded fund or some sort of portfolio structuring. You're not doing anything. That's passive. You're just letting it do its course. And there's even ways to have that type of work become passive active. You could choose a family of mutual funds that you feel confidence with, and then as you work through those funds and the course of time goes by, you might say, you know what, let me come from that fund that they offer there and go to this fund over here that they offer because that one's starting to pull down and this one's starting to go up. You also want to have it where you don't have all your money always in, because you want to have some cash on the side. That's your tool for adjusting any changes that might come that bring down your accounts. If you bring down a good quality fund for whatever external reason and it drops down, well, that's a buy-in opportunity. And if you have all your cash tied up, you're not going to be able to buy in. So there's many different ways of looking at what is active and what is passive management. I look at stuff a certain way. With what I developed, I like to say there's two ways to build a portfolio. You could take your principal and just put it to work, and now you're at the risk and it's always on. Or you could take your principal and develop a structuring that says, here's what we're going to be able to do. We turn it on our decision and we turn it off on our decision. And then we take the proceeds from that to go buy what you want to hold as a portfolio. I'm a firm believer in exchange traded funds, ETFs, or even exchange traded notes, ETNs. More cost efficient for the investor, not necessarily the fund or the mutual fund or the sales rep. And as I said before, if you really just want to go buy, shares of Ford or shares of this one or shares of that one or shares of Apple, you don't need a broker to do it. You're just letting someone come in between you and your decision and charging you a fee for that. Do it yourself online. The biggest thing people that I work with, and most of my people I work with are all 55 and older. We're looking at retirement, we're semi-retired or even retired, and they all have the same thought. They want to live on the interest and leave the principal alone. They don't want risk, they want stability. But their income needs are greater than what is feasible in the day-to-day opportunities that are there. Bank accounts paying less than 0.5% a year, annuities paying less than 3%, CDs less than 2% for 5 years, without any tax benefits, really. You got to pay taxes on that income every year. So there are things available. And let me just say this last week with what I do was very challenging. It had me all day long in and out trying to get away from things and try to get into things and make some money and give back some money. So I kind of went sideways for the week. But I have a lot on the side waiting for Monday. And normally what I'm able to do, I'm able to go into what I do and on a transaction without any margin, without any borrowing, close a transaction in 15, 20 minutes, an hour, sometimes the whole day, but that one transaction can make between 1 and 3 and 5%. Sometimes I can give back 0.5%. Sometimes I give back 1.5%. It does go against me, but not that I like to quote this person, but I'm going to. George Soros, I'm going to do the best I can to the quote. It's not whether or not you're right or wrong when you make a transaction. It is how much money did you make when you were right versus how much money did you give back when you were wrong. That's management. That's discipline. And this is what I do. This is how I help create income structures and opportunities that allow the person or myself to capitalize on what is really available. And once again, it's all about those in the know versus those that are not educated. This is what I try to do. I try to help people be educated. And you could watch what I do right here. My Skype name is GMView. Just sign in, watch. I offer a class, let you have 20 hours video time with me. It's documented. I give you 2 books. And at the end of the class, still trying to make sure I don't have any kinks with it, but it's a DVD of our 20 hours, so you could review it over and over again. But there is a large amount of issues going on that challenge where you could put your money safely and derive an income that satisfies your income needs as you retire and as we go forward. To sit there and say bonds. The only bonds I worked with ever professionally were U.S. government bonds and U.S. government agency bonds. They would be the last ones standing when things go wrong. There's a lot to be said with the fact that we printed $18 trillion out of nowhere. That creates a huge underlying risk that could really hurt this country dramatically if what they're doing, the politicians and the Congress and our senators and the Federal Reserve people, if what they're doing doesn't work, it's not a good day. So you need to have yourself self-sufficient and self-protected. It's what I try to help. It's where I try to direct people to go to, because the greater level of self-sufficiency you have in your life, the more secure you'll be no matter what comes down, good or bad. So we'll talk a little further about it. You have a good day. Enjoy your Saturday. It's Greg Mascaro saying have a nice day and take care and be well and stay safe.